hello, hello. Okay, let's continue. So this is the Japanese. ひらがな、そして explain. Yeah. 付き合った後が今でも残っている。付き合った後は今でも残っている。Yeah. So previously we are here. So we're going to talk about Sanmyaku this section. Okay. So yeah, let's continue. So before we actually go down into that explanation parts, let's add some of the like a link to the chat, so everything is like fully prepared. Then we can continue. Hello. Yeah, hopefully the audio quality is good. So yeah, where were we? We chat. Yeah, I already share all this link to the chat. So if you're interested, you can check it out. Let me check the volume here. Oh, that's good. So the volume is good. Everything's sorted. Right, let's get started. I got my coffee here, and so when I finish all this coffee, this is end of today's stream. Right? So yeah, let's continue. Alright, so let's continue. Look at this. By the way, as we continue, there are some of the repetition or too simple or not important like words and expressions. So I'm going to like omit that or just briefly cover that, right? Because if we just dive all this very tiny little bit details, we won't be able to push forward through all this. Yeah, so we're going to keep like pick up the pace, right? So 山脈の真ん中頃のこんもりした小山の中腹にそれがある。Okay? This is a very, long sentence, complicated sentence, right? So first is the like Sanmyaku, right? Sanmyaku, we already briefly covered that. So it's pretty easy. Sanmyaku is just a mountain range. Okay? So I think we can just make it here, mountain range. Sanmyaku, mountain range. No, that means it's the like ownership, right? Sanmyaku, Sanmyakus, like English. Sanmyakus, Sanmyaku no mannaka. Mannaka. Okay? I think this requires special explanation because this is the heavily used. So let's dive in. Right, before we actually dive in, I want to see the audio quality. Right, so let's continue. Yeah. Okay? This is a very range. Like Mannaka. Okay? Yeah, I think that's good. That's good. So let's just rename this Japanese. Sanmyaku, Japanese. I think the Windows input method is so bad. because every time I try to type in, like in some I don't know, some strange way, and it just won't be able to show it, and I don't know why. Just don't get it. Every time I try to type, I just can't switch it. Really weird, huh? Really weird. The Sanmeku again. I forgot. I need to get the PowerPoint up. Let me get you folks it out. Go for it. Okay, so it's out. That's good. And I got my pen. That's good. So let's continue. I think so where should we go here? Right, doesn't really matter. Let's continue. Right, so let's look at this. All this is written in hiragana, so it's very confusing. So I'm going to explain this. I think sometimes using kanji is a little bit better to understand, right? Because in the original text it said mannaka goro. Mannaka goro, sorry. Mannaka goro. Okay? And in fact, we can separate this into two parts. The first is mannaka, right? And most of the time, I think you're going to see it written in this kanji format. So okay, so this is like naka. Naga is like in the center, right? So mannaka. This is like naka, mannaka. Okay? So normally we use mannaka when we want to say this is like the center of things, like in the middle of things. Mannaka, and then you can see this got like a goro here, and goro is also got a kanji. So you have to realize that it's not that like traditional Japanese will like full of kanji, but rather sometimes they will omit some of the kanji, but this kanji can actually be widely used nowadays. Okay, so you have to understand this, right? Goro is something like this. We get this like a little bit upper, right? And then here, this goro, mannaka goro. Goro, nani nani and plus goro is like that's well near, around, right? It's kind of like atari, atari とか何々あたり、そして何々くらいとか like really similar to this kind of expression. Okay, so 何々ごろ is like 何々あたり、何々くらいという、おおよその範囲、おおよその範囲ですね。Like average, around, roughly, that kind of feeling. So 真ん中の頃 means that Well, right in the middle of the center, right? Mannaka. If you look at that, this is like a man. It's like a dead center. It's like true center, right? So it's like truth, like 真実はいつも一つ, right? 真実, truth, true center, right? Naka is like a center, right? You can also say it's true. For example, like 中国, China, right? 中国, 中央, right? Center. Man is like true center. That's the around the middle center area. Okay. And so basically it's like center area around. Okay, direct translation. Center area, right? Very middle, very the like true center, true middle. ぐらい like around that area, right? It's not. You can see that it's kind of like a hearsay. You're not like say precisely, but that yeah, in the center around that, right? So yeah, 真ん中 is like exact center. 真ん中頃 is not exactly center. So you can sort of feel that, you know, this authors, Daisaku that Daisaku is like, it's like a really, it's not like a alpha male sort of like person, right? It's kind of like a bokasu person. It's like yawarakai. When you read the novel written by Daisaku, you can feel that he's sort of unsure about everything, nearly everything that he wrote. It's like, well, I heard that, it's around that, something like that. So you can see this like a contradiction here. 真ん中 is like exactly at the center. But I'm not so sure, right? So don't, you know, I use some extreme words, but I'm not so sure. So like, well, it's around that. You can sort of feel that, right? So, yeah. That's the 真ん中頃. Okay, so there's 2 language point down. 真ん中頃. Yeah, let's go back here. 真ん中頃の Okay. No, you can see, right, it got like a constantly like a no. It's like adding a lot of restricted or descriptive thing before. You just want to say like Koyama. No. Okay. Chufuku. So even though you think that is just like and there, adding another. Okay. So yeah. So yeah, I think we can continue. Alright. So previously we call that mountain range, Sanmyaku no 真ん中頃の. So you can see that it's a Sanmyaku's 真ん中の頃の, and then we got like Koyama, but it's not like just tell you the Koyama, the small mountain. Literally, its ko is like kodomo, right? So it's small. Yama is like a mountain. So Koyama is like a small mountain, right? こんもりしたKoyama. こんもり. Yeah, another new like expression here, right? こんもり. Normally we don't write kanji, right? We just say こんもり. And it's worth explaining here, so I'm going to say, right? こんもり. So konmori normally don't write kanji, but rather just say ko, and then mori, mori, konmori, konmori suru, konmori shita, and then adding that thing I want to describe. So basically, in order to understand konmori shita, you need to understand konmori suru, and then go back to konmori that. So I think konmori is like gitaiko, right? So to mimic the state, that language mimic the state. And konmori got a meaning. Is I think it's more rounded sort of feeling, like bush rounded, softer sort of feeling. Okay, so that's konmori. So basically, in Japanese there's like fukurande, maruku. Maru is like the circle, right? So you want like connect, so it's maruku. So it's more about like piled up, softly piled up sort of a feeling, right? So that's like fuwa and 盛り上がっているの様子ですね。So it's like rounded, this kind of feeling. Okay, rounded, konmori, this kind of feeling. So, I think konmori is a typical gitaiko. So, it's mimic. Gi is like mimic. Tai, remember, like hentai, right? Tai is like state. So hentai is like change state, right? So like weirdo, right? Gi is like to mimic. So let me write it down for you. Gi, tai, and then go. Go is like language. This is like kotoba, right? It's a speak. Gitaiko, right? Gitaiko. So mimic the state language. Gitaiko. まあ、擬態語そしてプラスした and then you can add something because you want to describe something. It's kind of like chaos, like an adjective, right? This is した is typical lentai ke. So it's like you want to connect it, right? And then you plus the meshi to describe this state, using the gitaiko to say who is a rounded sort of thing, right? So konmori shita, normally we say something about, say, mountains or oka, right? So it's like a small like small rounded dirt bomb, right? It's like rounded. Or for example, kodachi. So it's like rounded, right? Rounded. Okay. So soft but also rounded, that shape, so we call that konmori. And if you look at that back, so it's talking about the koyama, right? Ko is like small, yama is like mountain, koyama, small mountain. It's not just about small mountain, right? But like konmori shita koyama, right? Like rounded, soft, and it's not a big mountain, it's koyama, small mountain. right? So, yeah, look at that. 山脈の mountain range の真ん中頃 middle around that area のこんもりした小山 rounded small mountain の again. So, yeah, another descriptive thing that follows. Oh, that's a very long like chain of no here.
Right. Okay. Right. Say hold it. Small. Yama is like, and it's not a big mountain. It's Koyama, small mountain. Right. So yeah, around that area. No.
Oh, that's a lot of no. Okay, we're going to get the style of Daisa Samu because very interesting person, and unfortunately, he like finally got like into depression. You can see this person's mental state in a lot of his work. And I feel this connection between me and that person, right? So that's the reason I want to like read and every novels and articles that that person wrote, right? Because I want to feel what like Daizao-san is like feeling, right? So yeah, it's a okay, so Konmori. Yeah, that's good. 小山の中腹にそれがある So yeah, it's also very old Japanese way. それがある山脈の真ん中頃のこんもりした小山の中腹にそれがある Yeah, so それがあるそれがある is like 存在、している Okay, and and to be honest, if you don't understand this, you have to go back here, right? 突き当たった跡が今でも残っている And where is that 跡 right? Where is that trail, right? So 山脈の真ん中頃のこんもりした小山の中腹にそれがあるOkay, so basically if you want to find it, you need to go to the 山脈の真ん中頃のこんもりしたの小山の中腹にそれがある It's like a 早口言葉Yeah. So yeah, speaking of the 早口言葉 I think there is a 早口言葉 of a song really famous it's like it's like 卵生部分生卵 something like that I think this song Yeah, I'll look at that later. But it's a very, very interesting song. I love it. So yeah, so we can continue. Alright, so let's continue. 山脈の真ん中頃のこんもりした小山の and then finally we come to the end is 中腹にそれがある okay, so yeah, this is also something that's worth explaining because we can draw, okay, 中腹 right, we just talked about 中 right, 中 elongation 中 right, so for example like China is like 中国 right, this word is like the center. If you look at that, it's just one thing, you cut that into half, okay, so remember we talk about like a 真ん中, remember we just talk about this 真ん中 真ん中 right, 真ん中, that's exactly this 真ん中. If you look at that, the left side 1 and right side 2, right, is like in the center, right, dead in center, so 1 equals to 2, right, so it's like a 真ん中, cut it, that's true, okay, and then here is the 腹 中腹, remember, this is the moon, right, and if you use the moon, a lot of Japanese kanji, if you use the moon, and this is connected to the person's like organ or animal's organ, okay, it's connected to the body, and if you think about this, it's amazing. The thing that connects to the moon is actually connected to the basic function of human beings or basic function of animals. And a lot of like a rhythm of a person's body is connected with the moon. So if you think about it, it's actually make a lot of sense, right? So yeah, we're talking about fuku. So the right side is again, okay? Again. So the whole thing here is called fuku. Okay? We can also say, like normal Japanese conversation, we say that onaga itai, right? So onaga itai. Naga is like the belly, right? And if you think about this, like naga, right? It's like a center, like inside. Okay? So this onaga is kind of like this, right? And you can feel that the pronunciation is hinting, or like make it beautiful, make it respectful. Naga is like inside. What is inside of a person, right? That's whatever inside your belly. That's the internal organ. Remember, we talk about the moon at the left side connected to the person's internal organ, right? So fuku, chufuku is like center belly, center onaka, okay? And so basically is the like yama. We talk about like koyama and all that. So basically it's like yama is like a mountain, right? And then this is a high. This is the high. Chufuku is like there, right? So basically it's like yama no mannaka. Yama to yama no mannaka no atari. Mannaka atari. So this is like Chufuku. Okay? But basically yeah, if you think about this, it's not the... Okay, let's draw again. This is like the top of the mountain. Okay, this is like bottom of the mountain. So this area, so remember I changed the view a little bit, right? So if I go there, so basically it's just the same thing. It's just that, you know, I look at from, this is a side view, this is a front view, right? It's not the top, it's not the bottom, right? It's there. So that's the Chufuku. Yama no Chufuku. Chufuku. Center belly. So like the mid slope. Okay? In English is like mid slope. This is slope, this is mid slope, right? Halfway up the mountain. Okay? So Chufuku. Halfway in the mountain. When you climb the mountain, right? Let's expand this a little bit. You noboru, right? Noboru, right? Noboru. You reach to the like Chufuku of the mountain, right? You can say Chufuku. Chufuku made, reaching that as an end point. So that's typical made. Nani nani kara nani nani made, reaching to that point. Kara is that from that beginning, right? And all the way to this made, to end that where Chufuku made, right? So Chufuku made, yama no Chufuku made noboru. Okay? You climb the mountain all the way to the mid slope of that mountain, right? It's not all the way to the top. It's not just the very beginning. You are halfway there, right? So Chufuku. Yeah, pretty good word. And yeah, so let's go back. So Chufuku ni それがある. So yeah, it's like finally it exists there, right? So yeah, それがある. それがあります, right? This is a very very simple one. I'm not going to explain more on this because it's a very simple one here. Okay. こんもりした小山. Okay, so let's get it here. Mainly it's like a Chufuku. Okay, Chufuku. So Koyama. Okay, here. Okay, Chufuku. Yeah, so yeah, finally, just this one, just one sentence where end of this section. That's a lot, mate. Congratulations, we have achieved a lot. That's like the first paragraph. This first paragraph of this. And I think I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A lot of paragraph. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, a lot of paragraph. But it's a relatively short version of the of these novels. So if this works, right? By the way, it's an experimental project. If this works, I'm going to speed it up a little bit because some of it is not so important. It's just some things that can be explained in 1 or 2 English words, right? I was just going to quickly say English words and continue to talk through it, so we can. So basically, at the very beginning, it will be slow, and adjustments will be quicker and quicker and quicker. Okay. So that's a lot. That's like the first section done. Okay. Right, let me rest a little bit. I want to see how my stream goes. Alright, so yeah, let's continue. Alright, so yeah, this is a very difficult sentence, okay? So it may require multiple explanations. So first, yaku is like average, and then here is the a little bit culture here, because normally right now we don't usually use this unit, right? Ichi is like 1, but this is sebu, ichisebu. Sebu is a unit in the past of Japan, and is the menseki no unit. So when you can sort of see this as how long you can walk, okay? This do require more explanation, but I'm quickly go through the sentence, and I'm going to get down into the explanation, right? So basically, you just say there is like 1 unit, right? Sebu. So sebu is like the 100 or precisely 99 square meters, right? But you don't worry about that. It's just some old Japanese unit, right? So basically, it's just say, well, this area is like yaku. Yaku is like average approximately 1, this, and then kurai. So you can see yaku kurai. It's kind of redundant, but that's how the Daisaku Osamu write things, right? It's just his yawarakasa, his softness in speaking, right? So the very soft-spoken person, right? No akatsuchi, 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 akai is like red, tsuchi is like the dirt, okay? So akatsuchi no gake is like cliff. Ga sore nano deatta. So basically, all this is like the subject. Ga, then sore nano deatta. So basically, is the thing that happened in the past. Yeah. So remember we talk about the atoll, right? So it's like the trace, the dent when the Yoshitsune like run away, right? And then like bomb that's dent, that hint, that trace. When they got this like cliff, that remember that dent got that cliff, and that is the cliff that I'm talking about. Okay, so it's pretty weird how they like state this scenario in Japanese. So it's a little bit hard to understand, because you often lose track of what the heck are they talking about. So basically, they still talk about that atoll, right? 突き当たった跡が今でも残っている. And then all this is just to further explain that atoll, right? 砂漠の真ん中頃のこんもりした小山の中腹にそれがある. So that place, and then you further explain that by say 約1セブぐらいの赤土の影がそれなのであった. Then the あった is like having in the past. So basically it's like およそ、まあ 1セブほどの、まあ、広さの赤土の崖がその後だった。そのぶつかった後だったんだ。Okay? So basically that's the thing that I want to say, but they omit it, right? It's just to say それなのであった. So it's when you first read this, it might be so confusing because what had are they talking about? Are they talking about the gage or akazuchi or 約1セブぐらいの赤土? What heck are they talking about? They're still talking about that atoll, right? 突き当たった跡が今でも残っている。And then still talking about where is that atoll? Well, it's a when they bump into a cliff, right? And then that's the thing they are talking. So this is definitely a sentence that was discussing. So we're going to continue to dive a little bit deeper into the grammatical points. Oh, that's a very complex sentence, right? That's a very complex sentence. So we're going to spend, I think, 2 or 3 videos to talk about that.
So, いらぬはそれなりてウェイツァの赤土今でも残っている
So a little bit complex sentence. So that's kind of sentence I want to talk a little bit about. Atoll. So it's all about atoll. So I'm going to just name this atoll. Right? Atoll is like after. Atoll. Tsuki 付き合った後は今でも残っている。 Right, so let's continue. Yaku. Okay? So, yaku is like approximately, right? And I want to talk a little bit about yaku, kurai, like the approximately the same meaning. It's about the approximation, right? So yaku is like, yeah, about that. Yeah. As simple as that. And if you look at that, this is very interesting. Yaku, it's like kurai, nani kurai, right? And when you first look at that, it's kind of like a duplication, okay? But I said this author is a very sort of unsure, very soft-spoken person. So that's the reason you use a duplication, you use yaku, use the kurai, using combination to make it soft. But the yaku is also very important as well as a kurai, so I think it's a very good opportunity to get all this familiarity out and practice our Japanese. Okay? So if you watch tons of like Japanese dramas and or maybe anime, so like yakusoku, right? You must have heard this, right? Yakusoku. If you think about this, it's actually the same thing, right? Yaku. It's like ito. It's like a string, right? It's like it's a string. sort of like buying things together, right? And then this soku. So yakusoku, yaku, and then soku, yakusoku. So you know what? That's the exact same thing. We take this out. This become yaku, right? About, approximately, like gurai, roughly. Okay? So basically, you want to give some numbers, 数字, right? You want to get some numbers. You want to give some numbers, but you don't want this number to be precise. Okay? So for example, 100人. But maybe it's not a precise number, so you're going to guess it. Well, approximately, roughly, right? Yaku, 100%, right? For example, yaku, 例えばね、3時間, right? 3 hours, 時間, right? 3時間. So that means, well, approximately 3 hours, but adding yaku, that's like approximately, roughly. This task is going to take you 3 hours, so yaku. Okay? So, yeah. We talk about yaku when we want to add numbers. And you yaku plus a number, right? Yaku plus a number. 数字, right? Number. That's the approximation. Okay? But if you look at that, this is like yaku 17, right? So 17, if you look at that, it's kind of like a 名詞, right? 17ぐらい. So I think there's another usage. It's like yaku plus 名詞. 名詞と前. Yaku plus 名. Like ね. 名詞の前. 名詞の前. 名詞の前使って、so also it's like approximation. I think always yaku is just an approximation. It's like in spoken Japanese, we also call that roughly, like in English. In Japanese, it's like ざっくり approximation, right? ざっくり大体like that's about right 大体でもyaku is kind of like written and old traditional Japanese kind of a way. So it's like katai. If you're spoken, it's like ざっくり or 大体. That's already enough. It's like yeah, approximately that. Okay, and also you can also add like 何々くらい. Okay, so remember when we talk about this, right? Yaku, and then ぐらい, right? Also exactly the same thing, but ぐらい can also involve a lot of usage cases that I'm going to introduce you folks in the next video. Oh, that's a lot of things to cover, so let's just get the yaku here. Yakusoku, yaku, keiyaku. Yeah, all that. Alright, so previously I also mentioned this gurai, okay? So gurai is also pretty similar to yaku, so I think it's worth mentioning. So let's go here. Okay, gurai. So gurai is kind of this in written kanji, but most of the time we just use this. Okay, sometimes we use kanji, sometimes we don't. So yeah, all this is about the teido, right? Teido. Okay, teido. Teido is in English like a degree, just about around that kind of degree. Say gurai. So I think it's just the opposite of yaku, because yaku is written before the specific suji, specific number. For example, 100. If you want to say yaku, it's like here, yaku, right? But if you want to say gurai, that's after. So basically, if you like fill into the different like slot, we want to add that to the number, it should like behind gurai. Like 10分ぐらい, about 10 minutes. Okay? 10, like 10, right? But you stop a little here. 10分 minutes. 10分 10 stop. 分 you make it p, not 分 but p. 10分 10分 and then you plus this teido gurai. Normally we don't write the kanji, but rather we just say gurai. 10分ぐらい. That's just give me 10 minutes, right? About 10 minutes. About 10 minutes ride, I'm going to take you to the top of the mountain. 10分ぐらい. Okay? 10分ぐらい, and then I will like take you over approximately 100 meters. How do you say 100? 100, right? Meter. メートル. Meter. About 100 meters. Okay? So, yeah. For example, I want to say that, you know what? All this, メートル, right? メートル, sorry. メートル, and this is not supposed to be here. Should be a little bit to here, right? メートル, and then you want to add that plus ぐらい, right? ぐらい, about. So yeah, this is like the opposite of yaku. We talk about yaku. Yaku is before, ざっくり大体, but ぐらい is after. Okay? As simple as that. And ぐらい have more meanings than this yaku. Okay? If you or just talking about numbers, it's like interchangeably. You can add it before. So it's yaku, and then 100 meter, something like that. And then 100 meter ぐらい, you can also do that. But ぐらい have a little bit more meanings. I'm going to explain in the next video because it's very important. So basically, if it's important, I'm going to use multiple videos to explain things, and I want to make it bite-sized. I know nowadays, you're busy. I'm busy, so nobody who spend tons of time, like bulk of time, study things and enjoying things. It's like a short video, a lot of like short video app that's like sort of condensed. They use like a Hollywood star level. But they sort of condense the TV series into just a few minutes. I think it's bad for you. Because it sort of mess up with your dopamine, right? Like make you constantly high on stimulation, and you don't rest and enjoy the beauty of life. And life shouldn't be rushed. That's my way of thinking. Okay. All right. Remember, I talked about the gurai, and then I said that gurai got like a different meaning. Okay. So let's see that. So gurai, we can also say a specific. Remember, we talked about like tedo, right? Degree. So tedo is not just about the number of tedo, right? How far? That's a tedo. That's a degree. But it can also say, to a extent, that's that I'd rather something like that, or to an extent is nearly something like that. So, for example, you have you ever like worked so hard that I think, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I'm like tired to death. That level of tired, okay? Yeah, in Japanese, there expression here. You know what? Is using gurai. So basically, you use gurai to, still you talk about the tedo. But it's a tedo, not tsuyosa. Okay? Tsuyosa. Tsuyoi, like hardness. Tsuyosa is like the degree of that. How hard is like degree, right? How hard that. Oh, is this kind of degree. So, gurai. For example, you're so tired, you nearly want to die, right? You are nearly dead working that job, okay? I think in English that's nearly dead. This is in Japanese, is like death, right? Shinu, okay? That's like just die, something like that. Don't use it in everyday Japanese because it's very, very offensive and so aggressive. That's maybe considered assault, right? You want everyone, you want that person to die. But from language point of view, let's die. That's English die, right? Die, like shinu. And then you add this gurai to express the tedo, express the degree. So shinu gurai, shinu hodo also is good, right? Shinu gurai. So tired. So tsukareta, right? So tired. Tsukareta. Remember, Japanese people like say, "Otsukare-sama deshita," right? So it's like, whoa, you are so tired, right? So I tired you. You are so tired. So you work so hard and rest. Okay. So to sort of express their appreciation of other people's tiredness, other people's hard work, right? So like otsukare-sama deshita. But you know what? I say I am so tired, right? So tsukareta, tsukareta, right? 死ぬぐらい疲れた。死ぬぐらい疲れた。So tired that I am reaching that degree that I could die. That kind of 疲れた. That kind of tired. So you need to let me rest. Okay? If you don't let me rest, I'm gonna die. I'm so tired. So basically, you want to sort of a kyocho, right? It's sort of like stressed, that kind of a tedo no tsuyosa. I'm so 疲れた that I express the degree to death. That degree, okay? It's like the ultimate degree, death, okay? And I worked so hard. I got so tired. I got that degree of the ultimate degree, okay? So it's a common sentence, common expression. Like 死ぬくらい疲れた。死ぬほど疲れた。Okay? So remember, it's not using ぐらい is not just like 役. You have to talk about like a specific number. Huh? You can also say a specific 程度の強さ. Okay? So, yeah. I think that's the where were we? So 約1セーブぐらい Okay? ぐらいと約 Okay? That's good. So let's continue to talk about the save. I think this is. You don't need to worry about that because it's kind of useless because you are not going to use it today. Yeah, I changed my mind. I'm not going to spend too much of time to talk about the like ishi Cebu is just so old. Nobody's using. Okay? Cebu ぐらいの赤土 is just the 赤い土 Okay? So yeah, I changed my mind. You don't need to worry too much about that. Okay? But I think the whole meaning need to be taught. Okay? So yeah. Right. Let's look at that. 約ぐらい average 1セブ as I said it's a 面積 it's like m squared. Okay? It's a very 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 old Japanese way to express this like area. So to be honest, I don't think you need to understand it. I don't think you need to spend your precious memory on these things that are no longer used nowadays. Okay, so it's kind of like a folklore that nobody is using. Okay, but if you have to know that, you just need to know that's a menseki. And it's approximately 99 square meters. That's very very short if you think about it. Approximately 100 m squared. That's 10 times 10, right? 10 meters times 10 meters. So that's very small area. Okay, so each step is like 1 square 199 square meters. Approximately that's big area. Okay, and if you look at that, that's yaku, that area, that big area ぐらいの赤土 is the akai, right? So it's like red. Tsuchi is like dirt. So I think it's a very very easy one. So akatsuchi, we can quickly pass it, right? No, gake is the cliff. Okay, and if you think about this, it's a very interesting thing because it got the original meaning of another. Let me just draw it down for you. See whether you can see this, like the connection here. Ga, right? Ke. So it's like this. It's like a mountain, and there's like edges of the mountain, right? Ooh, jump off the cliff. Okay, and all inside of the dirt and dirt. So that's gake, right? So, yeah. So I think that's self-explanatory. It's a mountain, and it got like it edges, and yeah, that's it. The inside of the mountain is just dirt. Okay, as simple as that. So if you compare this with the mountain and the edges of the mountain, and it's like this is like the lack of water. Lack of water is like dirt. Okay, so it's like too similar. This is called kishi, right? Kishi to gake, like it's the token, right? It's like the original source, and if you think about it, it's actually same meanings. This is more about the water, and there's like mountain, but sharp edges, and then it's like a sea. You got a boat here. Let me just add a boat. That's kake, right? Kishi is more about, you know, water, and then this is like the not so wet area, right? The water, and then this is kishi, right? This is kishi. This is the kake, right? So one's like a sharp cliff, right? This is like just, you know, water and no water. Okay, kishi. So yeah, once you got that under your belt, that's enough. Just a pretty easy one here. So basically, the cliff, and it's the red dirt cliff, and that is not a very huge cliff. It's not like in Britain, like a huge wide cliff, right? It's just 17. It's like 99 square meters, very small, red dirt, very characteristics cliff. And then それなのであった. So yeah, this is just got no meaning at all. Just to say, well, that's the thing that we are talking about. Okay, so yeah, それなのであった. You know, remember we talk about, you know, ato, right? So それなのであった is like when we talk about the 付き合った後, right? We talk about that ato. Remember we talk about ato, right? That ato, そのぶつかった後は赤い土is like 赤い土のもう影という、形でまあ残っているという意味ですね。So basically, それなのである is like, remember we'll talk about the そのぶつかった後、right? ぶつかったの後、right? 約1ぐらいの赤土の影。Right? At that place, right? Using that shape, it lives there. Okay? As simple as that. So you can see in Japanese, there's a lot of like redundancy here. And especially the Taizao-san was writing is like, he's a kind of onshore guy, so he would use a lot of the onshore thing, a lot of the duplication. But it's a good way to tackle this Japanese language from different angle, different perspective, because there's redundancy, and these two words are similar, so we can understand and we can learn both. Okay? So 約1セブぐらいの暁の影がそれなのであった. Wow, that's a lot. That's the end of the first paragraph of the Gyofuki. Right. Ooh, that's a lot. That's a lot for one day. Oh, that's 1 hour and 20 minutes. So I'm gonna take a little bit of rest, and yeah. So I'm gonna end today's stream. Okay. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Give me a like. Alright, and I also got a series of bootcamp you can check out in the description. Right, and yeah. So